It has been a month now that Caitlin has been out, and we still don't know when she will be returning to the court, if she will be returning to the court this season.
The WNBA has a problem, and that problem is Caitlin Clark not playing in WNBA games. Now, what all does this affect? The ratings are plummeting. Guys, there's ratings for a couple of these games that are eye-poppingly bad.
Imagine the WNBA without Caitlin Clark. Well, you don't have to imagine anymore. And the numbers are scary. The league just got a harsh wake-up call without Clark on the court. TV ratings are dropping hard, one injury, and suddenly all that talk about unstoppable growth feels shaky. Team owners aren't just concerned, they're flat-out angry, wondering if the billion-dollar dream they've been sold is already cracking. The tough question now, can the WNBA stand strong without the one player driving nearly all the attention? Be honest, when Clark's out, how many of you still tune in for the other stars? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get into it.
What are you going to do about it, Kathy? If and when Caitlin Clark returns, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to allow her to come back and get mauled? Are you going to allow her to come back and continue to get fouled? Because if we see what's going on here with the ratings, the owners have to see. And the owners are thinking to themselves, the bubble might be bursting. This bubble might be bursting, and Caitlin Clark being out for over a month is the catalyst to the burst.
Want to know the WNBA's entire game plan for ratings this year? It boiled down to just two names. The truth is simple. The league's big draw wasn't spread across a dozen stars or flashy campaigns. It all hinged on one matchup, Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. That was the formula. That was the strategy. Fever versus Sky. Over and over. No need for expensive marketing teams or fancy commercials. Just those two on the court, and the league knew the spotlight and the money would follow.
There was one matchup that this league can consistently rely on to produce massive viewership numbers. One matchup. The Chicago Sky versus the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, the league's two most noticeable names on the court at the same time. In fact, they relied so heavily on this matchup, they put these two teams against each other 5 times this season.
And here's where the WNBA is playing with fire, because if you don't take care of your stars, they won't last. Caitlin Clark has been out for over a month with a groin injury, the kind that needs real recovery time, not quick fixes and tape. Angel Reese has been sidelined too, missing a week and a half. So when Saturday's big must-watch matchup tipped off without either of the league's headliners, fans tuned out. The result, ratings completely tanked, not just a dip. We're talking the lowest numbers these teams have seen since Clark entered the league. Worse than last year's already weak viewership. That's how bad it was.
I feel bad for Caitlin Clark. She come out and said on Sue Bird's podcast that she's feeling the pressure of not playing in these games. And that Fever Sky viewership fell off the map. All right? A massive fall off from earlier in the year. No Caitlin Clark, no Angel Reese. Now, Angel Reese is back injury? Question mark? Nobody's exactly sure what the hell's going on there at all.
And here's where the WNBA is playing with fire, because if you don't take care of your stars, they won't last. Want proof of just how much star power matters in the WNBA? The numbers tell the whole story. That first matchup this season, with both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese on the floor, was massive. The game pulled in an average of 2.7 million viewers on ABC, peaking at 3.1 million. That's 115% higher than the network's usual numbers last year. And it wasn't just hype around the big names. The game had everything. Clark battling foul trouble, her triple-double, Chicago getting blown out, and the league launching an investigation that kept everyone buzzing.
Actually, Angel Reese gets the ball. Caitlin Clark goes over, does a hard foul, commits a hard foul on Angel Reese. She falls to the ground. After that, Angel Reese gets up. She's feeling super spicy. She's charging at Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is walking away. Aaliyah Boston steps in and kind of stops Angel Reese. Courtney Vandersloot also steps.
And here's where the warning signs turn into a full-blown alarm for the WNBA. The second Fever Sky matchup still held strong, even without Caitlin Clark. Primetime on CBS, 8 p.m. Drew 1.9 million viewers, still one of the most watched WNBA regular season games since 2001, ranking 8th overall in more than 20 years. But the third meeting, that's when the slide began, from the 0.7 million to 1.9, then crashing to 1.5 million. That's 1.2 million fans saying, "I'm out and not coming back." At the time, I flagged it to 1.5 million was already the lowest Fever Sky audience since last year's 1.53, and then came Saturday's disaster. Same primetime slot, same network, same matchup, but without Clark, not even 1 million. Try 1.3. That means 500,000 more viewers just walked away in less than 3 months. This marquee rivalry has bled 1 million viewers. That's not a slump. That's catastrophic. Networks panic over drops half that size. Advertisers panic. And make no mistake, Kathy Engelbert is panicking too. She just won't say it out loud.
Several more weeks pretty much puts Caitlin Clark to coming back at the very end of the regular season. If you look at the Indiana Fever's schedule right now, they only have 12 games left, and there is exactly 4 weeks left in the regular season. And the craziest thing about this last groin injury with Caitlin Clark is how it's been covered. The day after she had the groin injury, she was listed as day-to-day, and then a couple weeks after that, then she was listed to being out indefinitely.
Here's the blunt reality the league can't spin without Caitlin Clark. National interest in the Fever and the WNBA falls off a cliff. Fans aren't tuning in for Stephanie White's schemes. They're not sticking around for sloppy play, and they definitely don't care to watch the chaos that passes for WNBA officiating.
Is there any chance that the WNBA, that Kathy Engelbert saw some of the ratings that I'm about to show you now and said, "Hey, Indiana Fever, can you do us a favor? Can you do us a solid? Can you just tease a Caitlin Clark return, kind of boost these up a little bit? Can you just dangle a Caitlin Clark return in front of the fans' faces, try to boost these ratings up a little bit?"
So what's the WNBA's move now? One word: desperation. The whispers have already started. Hey Fever, maybe tease a Caitlin Clark return just to bump the ratings. It's a classic PR trick. Keep fans hooked with the possibility, even if there's nothing real behind it. But here's the problem. Clark's injury isn't something you rush back from, push too soon. And you're asking for re-injury or long-term damage. And the truth is, we wouldn't even be here if the league had done its job. She's been targeted all season with cheap shots, dirty hits, and no calls from refs who treat her like she doesn't belong. Instead of protecting its biggest star, the league left her exposed, and now everyone's paying the price.
Guys, I gotta tell you, in 2 of these other games I'm going to show you, it is bad back in WNBA territory of where they were like 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I saw these ratings and was like, you've got to be joking. No, it's not a joke. Yeah, pay us what you owe us.
And don't think this is just about a few bad games. The impact is hitting the entire league. Look around. Sun versus Sky drew just 180,000 viewers. Dream versus Mercury, only 160,000. If the WNBA's growth was really as big as the league office claims, those games would be clearing for OOK, maybe even 5 OOK, but without Caitlin Clark, they can't even crack to OOK. That's what Clark is, a one-woman stimulus package. When she plays, numbers soar. When she's out, they collapse. And the league can't say they didn't see this coming. The warning signs were obvious from day one. She's been taking harder hits than an NFL wide receiver. But the refs give her fewer calls than a spam number in airplane mode. No whistles for landing space violations. No whistles for arm grabs on drives. No whistles for hacks at the rim. Be real, if Clark got the same whistle Paige Buchers gets in college, would she still be sidelined? I don't think so. The Fever would probably be sitting as a top 3 seed, and we wouldn't be talking about a ratings free fall in August.
If you fail to protect your stars, Caitlin Clark, if you fail to protect your stars, sometimes they might not be around all the time. Sometimes they might get nicked up. Sometimes they might get dinged up. And sometimes they might get a soft tissue injury that takes weeks, if not months, to correctly heal. And that's the predicament the WNBA now finds themselves in. Caitlin Clark has been out a month and 1 day.
The WNBA's balloon is leaking air fast, and the numbers prove it. Owners are staring at the charts and feeling the pressure. You don't need a team of analysts to see it. From 3.1 million highs to 1.3 million lows, with NBA TV games barely scraping to OK, the drop-off is steep and ugly. And all without the one player the league should be protecting like crown jewels. Here's the real danger. Every week Caitlin Clark sits, casual fans drift away. They find something else to watch, and once that habit is gone, good luck pulling them back. Especially when the replacement product is a lineup of players most casual viewers couldn't name even with multiple choice. The WNBA's marketing strategy right now is simple: Caitlin Clark and everybody else. And newsflash, the everybody else part isn't selling.
We've officially regressed. We have went way backwards, which is slightly above the average national TV viewership for Fever games this year. But it also is the least watched of the 8 Chicago and Indiana games since 2024. Look at this, folks.
Here's the part that should really keep the WNBA up at night. Networks don't want to hear. Just wait until she's healthy. ESPN, CBS, and ABC pay for consistent numbers. If viewership vanishes every time Caitlin Clark isn't on the floor, those networks will start asking hard questions about how many games they're willing to carry next season. And if you're a network exec, why sink money into a product that collapses whenever one player is missing? That's not sustainable, and it leaves the league with zero leverage heading into the next TV deal.